Have you ever wondered what moments truly define the world we live in today? Today, we're diving deep into the top 5 events that didn't just make headlines. They fundamentally rewired our world, from the way we work to the way we think. These moments are the building blocks of modern civilization. So, buckle up, because we're about to take a journey through time to uncover the events that shaped everything. Let's kick things off at number 5 with a revolution that didn't involve swords or soldiers, but steam, steel, and a whole lot of ingenuity. The Industrial Revolution. Imagine a world where nearly everything was made by hand. Your clothes, your tools, your furniture all crafted one by one. Life was rural, slow, and powered by muscle. Then, starting around 1760, everything changed. This wasn't a single event, but a tidal wave of innovation that swept across Britain and then the globe. It all started with textile manufacturing. Inventions like the spinning jenny and the power loom allowed a single worker to produce more cloth than dozens could before. This was mass production in its infancy. But to power these new machines, we needed something more reliable than water wheels. Enter the steam engine, perfected by James Watt. Suddenly, we had a portable, powerful source of energy that could be used anywhere. This was the engine that powered the revolution. Literally. Factories began popping up in cities, drawing millions from the countryside in search of work. This massive migration gave birth to the modern city as we know it, with all its opportunities and challenges. But how do you move all these new goods and people? The answer came chugging down the tracks. The railway. Trains connected distant cities, shrinking the world and creating national markets. Raw materials could be shipped to factories, and finished products could be sent to consumers faster than ever before. This was the birth of global trade on a scale never before seen. The demand for coal to power the engines and iron to build the machines and railways led to a boom in mining and metallurgy. New chemical processes were invented for bleaching textiles and making other industrial materials. And later in the revolution, the harnessing of electricity brought light to our nights and power to our homes and even more advanced machinery. So why is this number 5 on our list? Because every single aspect of your modern life is a direct descendant of this era. The smartphone in your pocket. Its components are mass-produced in factories. The clothes you're wearing, woven on automated looms. The global economy. The 9-to-5 workday. The very idea of a job in a company, it all has roots in the Industrial Revolution. It was the great accelerator, the moment humanity shifted gears from an agrarian past to a technological future. It wasn't always pretty. It brought pollution, grueling working conditions, and social upheaval, but its impact is undeniable. Coming in at number 4, we have a moment that literally put a new half of the world on the map, the so-called discovery of the New World in 1492. Now, we know that the Americas were already home to millions of people with rich, complex civilizations. But from a global perspective, the continents of the Western and Eastern hemispheres were almost entirely separate worlds. Then, an Italian explorer named Christopher Columbus, sailing for Spain, set out to find a westward route to Asia and instead stumbled upon something extraordinary. When Columbus and his crew made landfall in the Bahamas, it was like two long-lost branches of the human family meeting for the first time in millennia. This event, often called the Columbian Exchange, triggered one of the largest transfers of plants, animals, culture, technology, ideas, and, tragically, diseases in human history. From the Americas, Europe received crops that would change its diet and agriculture forever. Think about it. Tomatoes in Italy, potatoes in Ireland, chili peppers in Asia, and chocolate in Switzerland. None of that would have happened. These new high-calorie crops helped fuel a population boom in the Old World. In return, the Americas received horses, cattle, pigs, and sheep, which completely transformed native lifestyles and landscapes. The introduction of the horse, for example, revolutionized hunting and warfare for a number of Native American tribes. But the exchange wasn't just about food and animals. For Europe, the New World represented unimaginable wealth in the form of gold, silver, and vast lands to colonize. This influx of resources fueled the rise of European superpowers like Spain and Portugal and shifted the economic center of the world from the Mediterranean to the Atlantic. It kicked off the age of exploration, as other nations for the indigenous peoples of the Americas. The consequences were devastating. To claim their piece of the new territories, European diseases, to which they had no immunity, caused catastrophic population declines, wiping out an estimated 90% of the population in some areas. This demographic collapse, combined with military conquest and colonization, led to the fall of great empires like the Aztec and the Inca, and forever altered the course of their history. This encounter redefined the world map, creating a truly interconnected global network for the first time. It was the beginning of a new globalized era, for better and for worse, and its legacy continues to shape politics, culture, and demographics on every continent to this day. At our number 3 spot is an event of such immense scale and devastation that its name alone evokes a sense of dread. World War II. From 1939 to 1945, the globe was engulfed in the deadliest conflict in human history, involving more than 30 countries and resulting in an estimated 70 to 85 million fatalities. Before the war, the world was dominated by colonial European empires. By the time the dust settled, those empires were crumbling. The immense cost of the war, both in human lives and economic resources, left nations like Britain and France weakened and unable to maintain their grip on their colonies. This paved the way for decolonization movements across Asia and Africa in the decades that followed. In their place, two new ideologically opposed superpowers rose from the ashes: the United States and the Soviet Union. The world was split in two, marking the beginning of the Cold War, a tense, decades-long standoff that would define international politics for the rest of the 20th century. In an effort to prevent such a catastrophe from ever happening again, the world's nations came together to create the United Nations in 1945. The UN was designed to be a forum for international diplomacy, peacekeeping, and the promotion of human rights. In fact, the horrific atrocities of the war, particularly the Holocaust, led to a new global consciousness about human rights, culminating in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948. This document established, for the first time, fundamental rights and freedoms that all humans are entitled to. The war was also a massive catalyst for technological and scientific advancement. Radar, jet engines, and rockets were all developed or perfected during the war. The top-secret Manhattan Project not only produced the atomic bomb, which ended the war and ushered in the nuclear age, but it also unlocked our understanding of nuclear physics. Similarly, medical advances made to treat wounded soldiers, like the mass production of penicillin and developments in blood transfusion, saved countless lives both during and after the war. World War II redrew the map, created new global institutions, defined the central conflict of the next 50 years, and spurred technological leaps that continue to shape our world. Now for our runner-up, at number 2. A single 96-mile barrier of concrete and barbed wire that represented the division of the entire world. The fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989. For nearly 30 years, the Berlin Wall had been the most potent and physical symbol of the Cold War. It literally split a city in two, separating families and friends, and ideologically it represented the Iron Curtain that divided the communist East from the capitalist West. Its existence was a daily reminder of a world on the brink of nuclear war, a world of two opposing systems locked in a struggle for global dominance. Then, on the evening of November 9, 1989, something unbelievable happened. Following months of growing protests across Eastern Europe and a confusing announcement by an East German official, crowds of East Berliners gathered at the checkpoints, demanding to be let through. Faced with overwhelming numbers and unclear orders, the border guards opened the gates. The scenes that followed were pure euphoria. People streamed through, met with cheers and champagne from their counterparts in the West. Strangers hugged, families were tearfully reunited, and people took to the war with sledgehammers and pickaxes, physically dismantling the symbol of their division. It was a party at the end of history, a spontaneous celebration of freedom. The fall of the wall was the domino that toppled the rest. It signaled that the Soviet Union was losing control over its Eastern European satellite states. Within a year, Germany was re-eyed one by one. Communist regimes across Eastern Europe collapsed. And just 2 years later, in 1991, the Soviet Union itself was dissolved. The Cold War was over. This single event completely redrew the map of Europe and reshaped global politics. It ended the bipolar world order dominated by the US and the USSR and ushered in a new era of globalization and cooperation. With the United States as the world's sole superpower for a time, it represented a victory for democracy and freedom, inspiring movements for change around the world. The fall of the Berlin Wall wasn't just about destroying a physical barrier. It was about tearing down an ideological one. And finally, at number 1, the event that has had the most profound, rapid, and ongoing impact on our daily lives. It's not a single moment, but a continuous revolution that you are participating in right now, just by watching this video. The digital revolution and the rise of the internet, while its roots go back to the mid-20th century with the invention of the transistor and the first computers, the revolution truly exploded into public life in the 1990s and hasn't slowed down since. Think about it, 25 or 30 years ago, the way humanity communicated, worked, and accessed information had been relatively stable for decades. You made calls on a landline, wrote letters, read physical newspapers, and went to a library to do research. Today, all of that has been utterly transformed by a device you carry in your pocket. The internet has put the sum of human knowledge at our fingertips. It has connected billions of people across the globe, allowing for instant communication regardless of distance. Bookstores, travel agencies, the music industry, and news media have all been disrupted and forced to adapt or disappear. The nature of work itself has changed, with remote work and the gig economy becoming mainstream. We learn through online courses, we shop on e-commerce sites, we are entertained by streaming services, and we build communities on social media platforms. The digital revolution has democratized creation. Anyone can be a content creator, a journalist, an artist, or an entrepreneur with a global audience. It has enabled social and political movements to organize and spread their message with unprecedented speed and reach. But it's not just about the internet. It's about the entire ecosystem. Personal computers, smartphones, cloud computing, and now, the rise of artificial intelligence. AI is the next phase of this revolution, and it promises to change our world in ways we are only just beginning to imagine, from medicine and science to art and transportation. It's altered how we think, how we form relationships, how our brains process information, and even our concept of identity. We are living through the most significant transformation in human communication since the invention of the printing press, and it's happening in real time. That is why the digital revolution is the #1 event that changed history. From the steam engines of the Industrial Revolution to the servers of the digital age, these 5 events have been the architects of our modern world. What do you think? Did we miss any? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.